Hello, friends. Welcome to Bible Bites Daily. Today we have reached chapter 6, where we read about Solomon building the temple, the house of the Lord. This chapter not only describes the physical construction of a magnificent temple, but also reveals a profound spiritual lesson: the importance of obedience to God in everything we do. In the fourth year of Solomon's reign, he began to build the temple, a task that had been on his heart for years. This temple was to be a dwelling place for God among his people, a central place for worship and sacrifices. The construction process was meticulous and detailed. Solomon followed specific instructions for the temple's dimensions, materials, and decorations. The walls were covered with cedar, the floors with cypress, and everything was overlaid with gold. The inner sanctuary, the most holy place, was designed to host the Ark of the Covenant. The single important lesson from this chapter is the significance of obedience to God's instructions. Solomon's dedication to following every detail given by God through his father David shows us the value of adhering to God's commands in our lives. Imagine Solomon standing before the foundation of the temple, recalling the instructions passed down from his father David and inspired by God. The task before him was enormous, but Solomon understood its importance. This was not just a building, it was a sacred space where God's presence would dwell. With unwavering dedication, Solomon ensured that every aspect of the temple construction followed God's detailed instructions. Even more inspiring was the construction of the inner sanctuary, the most holy place. This was where the Ark of the Covenant, symbolizing God's covenant with his people, would reside. Solomon's obedience in creating this sacred space highlights the reverence and devotion he had for God. In our lives, we are called to build our own temples, to build our own homes, our careers and relationships, and our spiritual lives. Just as Solomon followed God's instructions, we are also expected to obey God's word in all areas of life. Obedience to God's commands brings beauty and order to our lives. When we follow His guidance, He creates spaces where His presence can dwell. It may not always be easy, and the tasks before us may seem daunting, but with dedication and faithfulness, we can build lives that honor Him. Thank you for joining us today. May God bless you all in abundance.